The Diamond Niner Fans podcast is back. We are here for the week of March 5th, 2018. I'm Nick, and I'm here with Kevin.
How's it going, Niner Nation?
We've had a big week of Niner baseball, and we are definitely going to get into it, and we've got an even bigger week coming up. Just a few things to mention before we get started. First, we got some really awesome feedback this week on the segment we did on Ron Jones and his unfortunate passing last week. A good friend of ours and Niner, William Robertson, ended up sharing that with Ron's longtime girlfriend, and she ended up sharing it through Facebook with the rest of her friends and family, and we really didn't intend. I mean, we're certainly glad that happened. That wasn't really what was on our mind when we decided to talk about Ron for a minute or two there. But the feedback really meant a lot to us because we were able to put a few smiles on a few faces of some folks that could use it. So that means a lot to us when we get to do something like that, Kevin.
Yeah, it was great to hear the feedback on that, and something like that is very special to us.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, also on the listener front, I mean, this is very serious stuff here, folks. We are now an international podcast. Yeah, that's right. Diamond Niner Fans is international because we have a listener in Canada. That's right. We don't know who you are, but we love you. We can track the stats and see who's where. And Kevin, somebody in Canada is interested in Niner baseball.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they definitely interested in that. And I'm guessing they did not click that link by mistake. They meant to tune into our podcast.
Hey, I mean, we could be huge in Canada before it's over with. So we still would love to hear from you guys out there, wherever you happen to be. Drop us a line at Diamond9ER Fans on Twitter, Diamond Niner Fans on Facebook, or you can always email us at diamond9erfans@gmail.com. So, all right, Kevin, and everybody, just bear with me for a minute. We teased this last week, and we're going to talk about a big week in Niner baseball here. But there's something else we've got to take a detour on here in our leadoff segment. For the first time in 26 years, the Charlotte 49ers have a new athletic director, Kevin.
Yeah, and I think they announced it right there in the middle of our game on Wednesday that Mike Hill would be the next athletic director for the Charlotte 49ers. We talked to him last week. He came from Florida. Spent 25 years down in Florida, and it was great to hear. And like I said, it happened during our game, so we had a lot of good news at the same time.
Yeah, and it's going to be. It's been awesome. It's been awesome, right? Just seeing how this has started out. But I'm going to go Niner confessional here for a minute, Kevin. Can I do that?
It's your show.
No, I thought it was our show.
Well, part of your show.
I thought it was your show that I'm just on. Anyway, so I'm gonna throw this out there. When we were sitting here last week, we had gotten the resumes of the two finalists, right?
Right.
And everybody, of course, grabbed a hold of those and went through them with a fine-tooth comb. You know, who are these two candidates and what might they bring to the table? And obviously both resumes were very awesome. Well, they were awesome. I mean, I'll just say that. But when looking at Mike Hill's resume, there was one thing on there that I kind of raised my eyebrows at a little bit. What do you think that was, Kevin?
We touched on it last week, and he got a degree from UNC Chapel Hill.
Oh, yeah. So here's the thing. If in January, when we found out there was going to be a new AD, right? If you had told me that we were going to hire a Chapel Hill grad, oh my gosh, that would have been some bad news, right? On the other hand, if you had told me that we were going to get somebody who had been at the University of Florida in Gainesville in the SEC for the last several decades and was one of their top people and a big-time fundraiser down there, I would have been doing backflips, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Stick with
would.
me here. And Mike, if you happen to be listening to this, just stick with me. I'm going somewhere good with this.
He's definitely listening.
You think he's definitely listening? Okay.
Yes.
I'm going somewhere good. I promise. So here's the deal. Niner confessional time. Did that concern me? Oh yeah, for sure. But now here's the thing. Okay. My wife and I, we have a 12-year-old daughter, right? And we try to teach her, don't judge people or don't form your opinion of people based on labels, right? That's good advice, isn't it?
Right.
Okay. Don't form your opinion on people based on labels. So you know what? I'm going to try to walk the walk here. All right. Let's take a look at what Mike Hill is going to do. And so far, Kevin, what Mike Hill is doing is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, he is definitely blown us away.
Listen to him talk.
He's had 2 interviews so far on local sports radio, and I've listened to them both, and he's definitely saying all the right things, and you can tell he's a fundraiser, and he wants to. He's definitely pumping me up listening to him.
And I'm only saying these things. One, I needed to get it off my chest, right? I need to get it, but I'm only saying these things because other people were thinking them, right? That's what we're doing here. We're saying some things, and I know they're thinking them because some other people have said this. But here's the deal: you're gonna like this, Kevin. I am Niner Nation's very own Fox Mulder. I want to believe. I want to believe. Okay, so what am I looking at? Mike Hill, what he's saying, he's talking about excellence. He's talking about winning. He's talking about performance. He's on social media, Kevin. He's tweeting about Niner baseball.
Yeah.
What more could you want in a first week?
I mean, he hasn't even started yet, and he's already tweeting about baseball, basketball. So the signs are pointing in the right direction with that, and he's definitely impressed the fan base. I can say that.
Now that I've gotten this off my chest, I am so pumped up. I really am. I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I feel like it's just even at the ballpark this weekend, Kevin. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's the mood is excellent.
Yeah, you can feel the energy. There's a new energy, and you can feel it, and you can hear it in people's voice, and you can see it on social media. The excitement is there, and we're ready to get rolling.
Oh, I mean, I'm in. I'm an easy sell, Kevin. I want to do this, right? I want to be in, and we're in. We're excited, and this is going to be good.
Yeah. If you want to look through, just the resume he has. I looked at the Florida Gators website. Mm-hmm. Since Mike Hill has been there, they've won 27 national championships in multiple different sports. 27 national championships. He's won 3. They won 3 in football in that time period. Big time SEC football. They've won 2 in basketball, back to back, I believe, in a tough SEC conference. Big time basketball, and he's played a role in hiring the coaches there too. And most recently, last year, national championship in baseball. They won it all in Omaha. It's very impressive right off the bat right there. He mentioned name dropping with Billy Donovan. Mm-hmm. He has a relationship with Billy Donovan, Steve Spurrier. Those guys are pretty good, right?
If when we're talking about, and this is what it gets down to, the being from the SEC is impressive enough. Okay, that's big time college athletics, right? But the Florida Gators, they are. Can I say they're the best program in the SEC and get away with that? All around. We know what Alabama is football wise, but when you look at Florida in its totality, what they do football-wise, what they've done football-wise, what they've done basketball-wise, baseball, all the way around. I mean, those 27 national championships you're talking about. I mean, and I'm not, Lord knows, I'm not putting down Alabama, but after Nick Saban, it gets, I like Florida's better, the totality of what Florida has done all the way around as the best in the SEC.
Yeah. And he mentioned in one of the interviews, like they have a lot of different sports and they want to be the best at every sport that they participate in. And I know our chancellor has mentioned we have 17 different sports that we'd like to be good in. So they're kind of on the same page there.
Yeah.
To win national championships, and that's a whole nother level. And when you win national championships in football, baseball, and basketball, that's really saying something. A well-rounded program. I don't know how many other schools can say they've had a national championship in all three of those sports within the last 10, 15 years together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and he's talking about things like 100-day plans and vision. Oh my goodness, vision. That would be good enough, right? That gets my attention. But do you know the exact moment when I officially jumped on board? There was an exact moment, Kevin.
What was that?
When he talked like the head ball coach.
Yeah,
you heard this.
Yeah, he was on 610. He did the old ball coach impersonation.
Oh, that was it. I'm like, oh my gosh, not only is he from a place where we want to go, he's talking like the head ball coach. That's it. I was in. I mean,
yeah, well, some of the things that I like, he definitely pays attention to social media. He's active. You can tell by his interviews, he's done his research. He has ties to the Charlotte area, and he even mentioned that I think he was on Commonwealth Avenue when he watched the 49ers in the Final Four in 1977. Said he was at the first Hornets game, went to that. He's a Hornets fan. He's a Panthers fan, he said, and he wants to meet Luke Kuechly. And he recognizes we have a rich basketball tradition here, and he knows where we've been and where we can be. And he said, and there's evidence out there that it can be done here, and it will be done. He mentioned our successful programs currently, like he mentioned soccer and baseball by name in one of his interviews. So excited to hear he has a 100-day plan. And he said first on that list, he's going to listen to everybody and kind of assess what's out there. And that's a big key.
Well, there was that quote he had. He said he told the chancellor that I hope I don't mess this up, but the opposite of love was not hate. It was apathy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful comment. And you know what? After all this time, people, that's part of what's interesting about what we've been through. People can still get fired up about what's going on in the athletic department and want to see it get better. And I'm in, Kevin. I'm excited. I'm more excited than I've been in a long, long time. I'm just shooting you straight here. And if Mike, if you do happen to be listening, no hard feelings about the Chapel Hill comments. Kevin made me say it. I'm just kidding. I take responsibility for my actions. But no, this is we're excited. We cannot be more excited about what's getting ready to happen here. So, with that, why don't we move forward, Kevin? Let's get in and talk baseball. There might be somebody listening in Canada or elsewhere that wants to actually hear us talk about baseball.
Well, I mean, it's a good week to talk about baseball. We had 5 games and 5 big wins. I think Wednesday we went down to Charleston midweek. The 14-3 win over Charleston Southern. Kind of got the taste out of our mouth from that series last weekend.
Needed that one.
Definitely. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we came home, hosted Siena for a 4-game set. Had some big wins over Siena. Ended up getting a 4-game sweep. Friday, 10-1. Saturday, 12-5. Saturday, game 2, 14-3. And then Sunday, 9-2. A lot of those games were kind of close in the beginning, but we kind of pulled away at the end. Our bats definitely showed up this week. I don't even know. I mean, I think everybody contributed offensively this week. It's hard to single everybody out, but we we
were talking about this before. I mean, what do we say? What 59-14 was the total score this week, I think, and 59-14. I'm wondering, we need to talk to, we need to pick Sean Fox's brain on that and see when's the last time we did that, scored 59 runs in a week.
Yeah, that's a lot of production. I mean, you can't complain about that. Had good pitching too. Pitching was really solid. And like I said, a lot of those games were close early on, and we kind of pulled away with the bat. So we were pitching 1 or 2 run lead for the majority of the game, and then kind of piled it on at the end. But good weekend, good week all around for offense, defensively, and pitching wise. I would say.
I'm wondering, and I have somebody in mind, but I'm wondering if because so many guys had a big week, if maybe that hurts our chances on Conference USA Player of the Week. Because I mean, I think we've got one. There's one guy in particular I'm thinking of should be in the running.
Yeah, offensively, I think Drew Ober had a great week.
Yeah,
like I said, it's hard. I mean, we had so many guys produce, but he had, grand slam. He had 13 RBIs on the week.
Yeah, just 13 RBIs on the week. No big deal.
And it was great to see that because he had struggled a little bit coming off the injury. So a big week for him. That was great to see. He had a grand slam on Saturday, game 2. I think he had about an RBI in just about every game we played this week. So he had a big week. Hunter Jones had a big week. Tommy Bullock.
How about Hunter Jones?
Hit first career homer on Sunday. 2-run homer, kind of padded our lead a little bit.
Hunter has been working on that at bat for 4 years, right? I mean, he's been close before. He's been close before. He's got some pop on the bat on occasion, and today he finally got it done. Yeah, that's awesome.
It was nice to see, and he had a big day Friday too. Two RBI doubles, 4 RBIs on the day. Yeah, tied his career high. So. He had a big weekend. Camarada, he's bounced back from he was struggling a little bit. He bounced back, had a big week at the plate. Went 3 for 4 on Saturday in game 1, 2 RBIs. And then with Tommy Bullock at the top of the lineup, we've mentioned him pretty consistently. I think his hitting streak was ended, but I think he's had a hit in all but one of our games so far. Jackson Mims has been there steadily. He hit a homer on Sunday, 5 for 5 on Saturday afternoon, just right in the middle of the lineup, and he's going through a position change as well from third to first. But
why don't we spend just a minute on that, because Coach Hibbs has been pretty upfront about the fact that they are still trying to figure some things out, lineup wise and where everybody fits, and. They went with a deal where Tommy was playing second to start the season. They moved Tommy to third, Jackson to first, and Tate Pennington came into the lineup as a freshman at second base. And I gotta tell you, Pennington. I mean, we've got several guys that are being impressive already, new guys, but Tate Pennington's doing really a heck of a job over there at second.
Right. He really didn't play much the first week, but threw him in there against Georgia as a pinch hitter, and then I think he started the last game down there. He's been productive since getting some playing time. I think, what did you say he was batting? He was batting over 400.
Oh yeah, he's over 400. And what was? This is what happens on a Saturday doubleheader. I get game 1 stuff and game 2 stuff mixed up. But he made a play with 2 outs. We had a runner on third, and he made an absolutely sick play over the middle behind the bag at second to get to a ball. He not only got to a ball that I didn't think he was going to get to, he comes up and fires it to first and gets the third out and takes a run off the board for Siena at a time that that could have been some momentum for them and given them a little bit of life. And Tate basically said, no, not today. You're not getting that run. And I mean, it was just phenomenal with what he's doing back there defensively, but he's hitting the ball too.
Yeah, good addition to the lineup.
He's batting .409.
Well, that's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, that works.
And Yeah, you mentioned there's the lineup changes. We've had quite a few. I think when Drew Ober, he had been DHing most of the time, but the last game against Georgia, they put him out and left. Got a new DH. Some other guys got some playing time. Zach Smith is behind the plate and DH, and he kind of stays in those two spots. Then Jackson Mims, he's played the last 5 games at first. And we had Tommy Bullock over at third. So we get different looks to the lineup. I think they're still tinkering with it. Looks
kind of trying to so we've taken some different looks out there in left field, because like Whitcomb got the start out there in left, and I think we agree Ober is the guy that's kind of wind up there. But we've seen Whitcomb out there, and we started off with Elwood out there.
Yeah. See, when Ober plays left, I think it kind of opens up the DH spot to a lot of different folks, and we saw Lansinger get a start at DH as well. So it's good to see the freshmen and getting in some playing time in the lineup, kind of seeing what they got.
Well, and seeing these young guys do that, I mean, it's just always good to get them some experience, because I mean, we've seen this time after time, Kevin. I mean, one unfortunate, untimely injury, whether it's a hamstring or whatever, and these guys have got to play. And, in the middle of a conference race for seeding, 6-7 weeks from now is a bad time to say, okay, now we're going to get you some experience. So getting it in this format is ideal.
Yeah, putting a lot of runs on the board gets a lot of kids playing time, and we definitely scored a lot of runs this weekend and this week. So it opened up some playing time, and had a lot of guys successful. Like I said, it's hard to single anybody out, because everybody's hitting good.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the offensive outburst, and it's not like, I get it. I mean, we had this week, Charleston Southern's no pushover. They had just beaten South Carolina. Siena, I mean, let's be honest, those guys play hard, but they were overmatched this weekend, and that's okay. I mean, that's where we want to be, right? But can we just for the fun of it, can we talk about Ober's Grand Slam for a minute? You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
We had I don't get it. I mean, I get Ober. I mean, he knocked the crap out of that ball, right? But bases loaded. This is, again, the game 1 and game 2. It was game 2, wasn't it? Yeah, it's game 2. We're down 3-1.
Right, yes.
In game 2 yesterday, or I say yesterday, we're talking Sunday night. It's Saturday, game 2 Saturday. And their pitcher is starting to struggle a little bit, and he's having trouble throwing the ball across the plate, and he loads the bases. And their coach, who's I think it's his 49th year as a head coach. I think he's not a rookie.
No, and Lauren talked about him before the series. He said he looks forward to playing every year, and
I mean, he's not new at this.
A mentor to Lauren.
He comes out of the dugout, goes to the mound, takes the ball from his starter, and motions to the pen. There's just one problem. No one in the pen has been throwing. Not a pitch, nothing. They've got their warm-ups on. And one of the guys, they're all down there hanging out, watching the game. One of the guys takes his warm-up jacket off, and comes in from the pen. He's in. Takes the ball. He gets his 8 pitches, right? He gets his 8 pitches there.
I think that's how many you get.
And those are his 8 warm-up pitches. And he threw the ball a 9th time, and that ball is somewhere over in the tennis courts, probably, if it's landed yet. Because, he came in cold, no stretching, no nothing, and Ober absolutely made him pay for it. I don't get it. If some of you out there, if y'all have a better explanation than I do, because I don't have one, if y'all have an explanation for why that went down the way it did, let me know what it is. Email us, tweet us, something. Tell me how I'm all wrong about this. But that's the way I saw it. I don't know. I don't have an explanation for that, Kevin.
Yeah, that's a tough way to enter a ball game.
Yeah.
Bases loaded, no warm-up pitches. Just go out there and throw. But
sit that popcorn down. You've got a pitch. I don't know. I'm sorry I cut you off, Kevin.
It's all good. I was just trying to name all the guys that did well offensively for us this week.
Just read the roster.
Well, just looking at the stats, Harris Yett, I mean, he had another big week. He's been very consistent for us this whole season. He's leading our team with .435 batting average. He's got 10 RBIs.
He's been swinging the bat like that since the Gastonia Grizzlies last summer, right?
Even further back, he had a nice streak at the end of last season. So it's good to see that carry over. And he's definitely been more consistent, or been very consistent in the early part of this season. We mentioned Ober; he's leading the team in RBIs now, 15. Reese Hampton, he's up there with 13 ribbies. He's been hitting the ball well.
He's doing everything really well right now. Yeah. I mean, he's always done the defense and center, but he's getting it done on the base paths. He's doing a really solid job.
Yeah. Then you look down the line, Hunter Jones and has 12 RBIs. Tommy Bullock 12 RBIs. Jackson Mims 11. So we've got a lot of guys producing runs.
We have 6 guys with at least 10 RBI. Is that right? It
looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of production. A lot of that came this week. But I want to shift gears real quick and talk about our pitching. We kind of switched things up a little bit this week. Colby Bruce went on Wednesday on his first start of the season. He pitched well. I think he gave it 1 homer and one earned run. And our bullpen came in and didn't give up any earned runs against Charleston Southern. Had a solid midweek victory. Switched up the rotation a little bit. We had a 4-game week, so we had to dig a little deeper. We moved Josh to Friday, and he had another phenomenal outing. Pitched really well, and he could be in the mix for pitcher of the week. But I'm not sure who else did anything in the conference. But anyway, he did great as usual. 3 good starts to start the season. Saturday starters, we put Matt Brooks in game 2 of the series. He pitched well. He pitched better. He worked through it, and he got the W. And then the game 2, Joey Cooner, he had his first weekend start. He had pitched midweek up to that point. He had a pretty solid start. Gave up a few runs, but he worked through it. He got a W as well. And then Sunday, Chase Gooding, a JUCO pitcher, he came in, got his first start. We saw him at Georgia with a couple innings of relief and a couple innings of relief here and there since. But his first start, he 6 strong innings, struck out 7, 0 walks. I mean, I'll take that every day. But yeah, he was solid. Our bullpen was solid. Pretty much every game this weekend, we had a solid pitching.
It would be good to see Gooding. See how I did that. It would be good to see Chase. How about that? Get it going. Because it feels we're still trying to tinker around with how we're going to work the bullpen and who's going to be where. And I mean, it feels like he could be an important piece to that going forward. I mean, it feels that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think we moved. Well, Lauren, he mentioned this in his pre-series video. He said that Patton's probably going to move to the bullpen, back to the closer role type. So we need to fill in another starting role, and we had good four good starting pitching efforts this weekend, and a 5th when you count Colby Bruce on midweek. So it's nice to have a kind of a dedicated midweek guy. I don't know if that's how they're going to play it this season, but it's kind of good to have a rotation like that. And when you have a solid performance like Chase did today, that points to good things in the future.
Mm-hmm. And some really gutty performances. I know we talked about Josh last week and told people to come out and see this, and they need to, because Josh is really, he couldn't have gotten off to a better start this year. What I liked about Brooks on Saturday was he started off well, and he hit a trouble spot there where he lost the handle on a little bit, started having some control issues, worked his way out of it, and battled back, and then cruised a couple more innings. I mean, that's what you want to see is a guy. Lots of people are going to be able to come out and do well the first couple of innings. Some guys are going to hit trouble and fall apart, and he was kind of at that point where, okay, he's in trouble. Which way are we going with this? And he came back. I mean, he went. I think it was like the seventh. It was his last inning, and I think he came out and went. He took him 1, 2, 3 in the seventh, and it's like. Yeah. I mean, that he's heading in the right direction. You can see that. Yeah,
I mean, he had a rough start against Georgia, but he worked through it the first couple innings, gave up some runs, and then he settled down and kept them off the board the later part of those innings. So he had tied his career high yesterday or Saturday with 8 strikeouts. So worked through. Good to see him bounce back. A lot of folks had bad weeks last week, and a lot of folks bounced back this week. Matt was one of them. Great
I feel like
that.
Coach Doty has Matt on it's a long leash with him. I think there's a trust level there. I think he sees him getting in trouble. He comes out, he makes a mound visit, comes out and talks to him, right? But there's not. He's kind of like, no, we're gonna let him work through this because I think they have that kind of confidence in him.
Well, that's part of the development, and he's a key part to where we need to be, and his development is crucial for our success. So they're gonna work hard with him, and then he's going to work hard, and we're going to hopefully see the results pay off down the road.
And I mean, I like the idea of Patton kind of going dedicated closer potentially because that suits his attitude. I mean, he's got closer mentality, I think.
Yeah, I agree. He definitely has that fire coming on the mound. So,
yeah.
They decided to make the switch, and he said he feels more comfortable there. So let him have at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to get into the conference battle here pretty soon, and we could use his attitude and his experience, in the 8th and 9th inning when we're in some tough contests. I think that would be very beneficial.
Yeah, he's got the good stuff too. So. Plugging that in for 1 or 2 innings instead of a complete start. So maybe that fits him better moving forward.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move forward here into talking about this week. We've got we're going to hit the mid-game week or the mid-game or midweek game. Easy for me to say, I know the midweek game. Real quick here, we're at High Point on Tuesday afternoon at 4:00. Which, by the way, I looked this up. It looks like we're going to be able to watch that on the Big South Network. If you go to their baseball page and follow on their schedule, go down to there's a link for watch and. The Big South, you don't need a login or anything. They put all that stuff out there, so we should be able to see it.
Yeah, that's great because they usually, I mean, when we play Big South teams in the past, it's all free and they have a pretty good production. So it's nice to see. Last year we played Winthrop and they had a great production when we were on the road down there. So looking forward to seeing that.
I wish I could get up there, but that's just not gonna work this week. But that'd be a good one to go to. That's a nice park there.
Yeah, your 2 alma maters, right?
Yeah. He's giving me a hard time. I have a degree from High Point University as well, but make no mistake, folks. We know where my allegiances lie. I'm a Niner, okay. But yeah, it's a nice setting there. What do you think going against High Point on Tuesday?
Well, I'm assuming Colby Bruce will get to start, but he had a good start last week. So hopefully he'll be in the. We'll see him go again. I guess High Point. Take a look at their season so far. They started out. They got swept by James Madison first weekend, and then next weekend they swept Dayton from our A10 days. We know them. This past weekend lost 2 out of 3 to William and Mary. During midweek they beat A&T the first midweek game, and then they played Chapel Hill last midweek, lost 10-0. So I mean, they're about 500 or so. They've always played us tough, it seems like. So
we have definitely had some trouble with them at times in the past.
But yeah, it's a good road test for us, like always, and they're going to be ready, and I'm sure we will be too.
So we're going to do that on Tuesday, and these these midweek games. I mean, we've been talking about this since the season preview. That's something we need to really focus on this year is getting right. So hopefully we've got going to have a big game against High Point. But we've got to spend some definite time here, Kevin, because this weekend we're playing a team from where are they from?
The eastern part of the state.
Oh yeah, Greenville, North Carolina, the East Carolina Pirates. This is our marquee out of conference weekend at the Hayes. No offense to the Siena Saints or the Iona Gales, but this is going to be a pretty big weekend of Niner baseball at the Hayes.
Yeah, I mean, when we joined Conference USA, I was pumped because we were going to have that rivalry with ECU every year, but they moved on to the AAC, and luckily we've been able to keep it going. Last year we went there for 3 games, and they're coming here for 3 this year, and hopefully we can get it worked out where that's a consistent home and home every year. But I know it's tough to work schedules out sometimes. But definitely pumped about this series. They've got a great baseball tradition, had a great baseball program. They definitely have a great fan base that travel well. A lot of fans in Charlotte here. Looking forward to having them guests at the Hayes, and looking forward for our fans.
There will be a few folks wearing purple this weekend.
Yeah, last time they played here, they brought a few folks, and
I mean, they all live here. It's yeah. I mean, if we play down there, right, and anybody wearing green in the stands drove there, right? Well, this weekend there's going to be who knows how many purple-clad Pirate fans. Some of them are friends of mine. And they're not coming from Greenville, North Carolina for that. They're right here. They live as close as we do.
Yeah, they've got a large fan base here, and that's for sure.
Yeah. And what the athletic department, I think, is branded this as Pack the Hayes weekend. Is that right?
Yeah. They want to try to set the weekend record for attendance at the Hayes. So it's a good weekend to try that, I think. But I know that we're starting spring break this week, but I think our fan base will step up and we can pack the Hayes for 3 solid games of baseball.
Should be a great weekend.
Yeah, hopefully the weather's like it was this weekend, or maybe a little tad warmer, but it was a great weekend this past weekend weather-wise. They're a great program in-state, and taking a quick look at their season so far, they opened the season at Western Carolina, or against Western Carolina. They swept Western. Mm-hmm. They took 2 of 3 from Chapel Hill in a series. Mm-hmm. We mentioned that last week. And they played at our conference foe, ODU, midweek last week and beat them 7-1. They hosted the LeClaire Classic that they host every year this past weekend. Lost the first 2 games. Pepperdine. Mm-hmm. Pepperdine made the trip across the country. And Saturday lost to Missouri State regional team from last year. I didn't see the score from today or Sunday's game.
They won
St.
today.
Joe's. They played St. Joe's, I believe.
Yeah, they won.
So, but they had a little bit of struggle. I think I read some articles. They were talking about making some adjustments to their weekend rotation. You want to dig into that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to talk about what we can expect to see here because they have changed, and I believe there's some injuries involved. Is that right?
Yeah, well, they have one big injury. They have a freshman, this top-notch freshman. He's a big prospect. He was Gavin Williams. I think you were telling me that Baseball America clocked him at 100.
Yeah, the Baseball America staff writer was, I don't remember which one it was, but they had a guy on site for the Chapel Hill series, and He said that the guys around him, the guns around him, registered 99, but on his gun, he hit triple digits. Their freshman Saturday starter.
Well, I don't think it makes much difference now because he had to get an MRI this past week, and I don't think he's going to play this weekend. I mean, they say he's going to play sometime this season, but I don't think we'll see him.
He will be at 0 on the gun this weekend. I mean, and truthfully, we don't want to see anybody get hurt or anything like that. But it is what it is. But
looking at the guys they've had going so far this year on the weekends, their Friday guy Trey Benton, right-handed pitcher, sophomore. We saw him last year. He was a starter for game 2 out there in Greenville. He pitched pretty good against us last year. Only gave up 1 earned run. We didn't get much off him last year. We rallied when they went to the pen last year, and then that's the game we ended up tying in the 9th, and then we lost it in the extras.
Right.
But he's 2-1, 2.65 ERA. So he's had 3 pretty good starts. The next guy, their Saturday starter is Jake Agnos. He's a left-handed pitcher, sophomore. They were talking about moving him to midweek because he struggled a little bit on the weekends this year. But he started game 1 against us last year against Laws, when we got the win this year. But on this season, he's 0-1 with a 8.22 ERA. So you can see why they may be moving him to midweek. Mm-hmm. Their Sunday guy, Chris Holbrook, he's a right-handed pitcher, junior. He pitched in relief against us last year in Greenville, game 3. But he's their Sunday starter. I don't know who they'll plug in with changing their rotation up, but they've got 2 freshmen that they've pitched midweek. Alec Burleson, he's a left-handed pitching freshman he pitched against Campbell, and
I think they have 2 midweek games this week too. Don't they?
Yeah. They play College of Charleston twice before they come to Charlotte, so they're probably gonna be a little bit thinner as far as depth-wise on their pitching staff.
Well, they've definitely got. I mean, what I hear you saying here is they're in a transition and still trying to. So, I mean, like we are, right? But trying to move some pieces around. So that. I mean, I'm not upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, this time of the year, everyone's kind of feeling what they got, and they've battled some injuries. I think they were without their 3 starting outfielders against Missouri State because there was a skirmish on Friday night game, and one of their outfielders was suspended for the next. So
yeah, I saw the footage of that. I didn't think there was anything to it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell from the video, but
it was a little hard to tell. But I mean, he was on the East Carolina's runner was on that chalky white line thing, right? And when you're on that in a runner, you're supposed to be able to run on that, right?
Yeah, I think the runner has the right of way, right? But
yeah. So if you're a defender and you find yourself on that white line, you might get hit.
Yeah, I think he may have been had a little exclamation point on moving him from the baseline.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Anyway, he got suspended for a game and he missed that next game. So they were with injuries and with suspensions. They had all 3 of their outfielders out for that one game. So they yeah, they had a rough week with their LeClaire Classic. So they're coming in with some question marks as well, and we'll see. They're going to have 2 midweek games, and so they'll be a little bit deeper in their bullpen or in their pitching staff when they get here.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week for sure. I feel like this is sort of, I mean, and this is where, this time next week we'll be talking about starting Conference USA play. So we've had some tests. We had a bounce back week this week, and now we're gonna look at where we are, this weekend and this weekend, and I mean, this is the big test before we get into the Conference USA schedule.
Yeah, another big test. I mean, I think they're 18th nationally ranked this week.
Yeah, I think so.
So in some polls, there's like 6 polls.
But, I know, yeah. But yeah, I think they were the best one. I think was 18th.
It's going to be a good test for us, kind of like Georgia. To see what we got in Conference USA.
Yeah, for sure. just a note on that. Don't forget, yes, come out to see the Niners take on ECU, but on Saturday, come out early. Come out and tailgate with us. We are definitely going to be out there. The ECU fans are certainly going to be out there. They show up in force and do that stuff. But come out. Come by and say hello. Come out and we'd love to meet as many of you guys as possible. I think everybody's going to kind of get over there in the lot on the other side of the football facility over there next to the practice fields.
Yeah, next.
We're working on getting as many folks as we can out there, and we did this for West Virginia last year, and it was huge. It was great just to see everybody out there. But we, come out. Wow, I mean, for sure, we'll be rolling by 9 o'clock for that 1 o'clock first pitch game. Heck, you never know. When you're talking about me and Kevin, we might just get excited and be out there earlier than that. We don't know. We're excitable.
Yeah, we love to tailgate out there. I mean, we used to tailgate just about every Saturday back in the day, but
we had some great ball games out there on the rec fields that are now Jerry Richardson Stadium.
Yeah, we had some good tailgates. Unfortunately, I guess, or fortunately, we had life kind of gets in the way, and it's kind of hard to.
Can you believe we had to give up our spot to hit balls and stuff for a football stadium? Okay, we were okay with that. That was pretty awesome. I mean, it was a great spot to tailgate for baseball. I mean, we had a great time, and I mean, but we're okay with the football stadium.
Yeah, but we don't get to tailgate as much as we used to for baseball. But Saturday is going to be a big one, and looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, it's good, and it's good for us to match up with not only a team like East Carolina, but a fan base like East Carolina. I mean, I'll give them credit where credit's due. They have fans, man. They know how to do it right, and we need to rise to the occasion. We need to match them on that effort. So look forward to seeing a lot of you guys out there. Kevin, you want to touch real quick on the weekend, the conference, or the week, I should say, that Conference USA had?
Yeah, we had a few big wins. I know that FAU got a big win against Miami midweek. We got a lot of national attention. I think Rice won their 2 out of 3. They won their 2 out of 3 this weekend. I think Houston Baptist they played.
Yeah, it was Houston Baptist.
But I think it was a pretty good week overall for Conference USA.
About the surprise of the week being Louisiana Tech. They were in the tournament down in, is that tournament in College Station? It was in Texas. They got a win against Texas A&M.
Was that the one at the Houston Astros Stadium?
No, that was not that one. I don't think. I'll check on that. But they got a win over Texas A&M. They got a win over Cal.
Frisco, Texas. Frisco College Classic.
Yeah, Frisco. Yeah, they were at the minor league park, the Rough Riders.
Oh yeah,
with the Teddy Roosevelt logo. Yeah, that's one of the better minor league logos. They were at the Frisco minor league ballpark. But they beat Texas A&M, they beat Cal, and then they dropped the third game to Baylor. But Texas A&M, Cal, those are pretty good scalps to put on the wall there.
Yeah, Power 5 conference scalps. Those are always good to have.
Yeah, and from what I had heard about them, I think they were, from listening to some of their fans talk anyway, they were expecting to be a little down this year. So maybe that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I don't know. They've had a good recruiting class. So yeah, it's interesting how they've recruited over the past few years. They've brought in a lot of JUCOs and so they have a lot of changeover every couple of years. So interesting to see how that works out, and it's good for the conference to see those victories. We got FAU's 8-2, Southern Miss 8-3. We're right there with 8-4. Marshall, they beat App State 2 out of 3 this weekend. So
appreciate that, Marshall.
Yeah, they're 6-3. So La Tech 7-5. We're right in the top echelon of the conference as far as out of conference games.
App State playing baseball. Who ever heard of such a thing? Yeah. What about so we're standing here, we're looking at 72-58 as a league non-conference record. So it's all right. We're getting closer now. We're getting a little closer to being able to take a look at least a conference RPI number. Conference USA has got some work to do. We're at 11th according to Warren Nolan as a conference RPI. So the only thing you worry about that is after next weekend. We're basically talking about midweek games, as far as opportunities for out of conference wins. I think it's still going to get a little better, but maybe Conference USA hasn't quite done what we were hoping to do quite yet.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of good midweeks coming up. So
yeah,
there's a lot of still.
Lord knows we've got some tough midweeks coming up.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of upper echelon teams in our conference that kind of schedule the same way. So we'll see how it all filters out, but that's where we are now.
Yeah,
we got one more week of non-conference, and then we're full tilt in conference with 30 conference games.
Yeah, I mean it is going to be a grind, right? I mean it's survival of the fittest, right? A war of attrition when you get into that conference play. So it's going to be quite a show. What we're going to do, let's go ahead and start wrapping this one up. Kevin, I know you always want to say something about, and rightfully so, tickets for particularly uptown games. Of course, the best way to get a ticket for the ECU series is to just come out, get in your car, drive to campus, park your car where you can find a place to put it. Try the deck. Try the CRI deck. Good place over off 29. Park in the CRI deck. Head over to the box office and buy a ticket and walk right in. Now, Kevin, how can they get tickets for the uptown games that are coming up?
Well, these uptown games are getting closer.
They are.
We'll play Wake Forest the 13th, Arkansas the 20th, and the next Tuesday, Chapel Hill uptown at the BB&T ballpark. To get tickets to that, you go to the Knights website. It's a ticket return. You click on the Collegiate Baseball Series, and they'll show all those games that they have in uptown. Just get your tickets there. Lots of good seats available. So hope to turn to Uptown Ballpark green for those 3 games.
Yeah, and in general, with any game on campus, not the uptown games, but Pack the Mind 49 will get that done for you. You can buy tickets to any of those online as well for the games on campus, including this weekend with East Carolina. As always, we appreciate you listening. Contact info if you need to reach out to us, Diamond9ER fans, at Diamond9ER fans on Twitter, Diamond9ER fans on YouTube, or you can always email us at diamond9erfans@gmail.com. If you are listening to this and you like it, we'd appreciate you clicking subscribing to our channel so you can always get updates when we bring new content out. Kevin, another week in the books.
And what a great week it was. Niners were 5-0, got a new athletic director, and we're ready to roll.
Awesome, guys. We look forward to seeing as many of you as possible out there this weekend. And as always, we will see you at the Haze.